Hello, hello, SykoYoda here. Welcome to my show. It's good to see you, dear. I am back. I'm back with another episode of Minecraft. Here in another adventure. And today it's going to be cray-cray. Because I'm in a cray-cray mood. I was actually not even going to record today. Was just going to do some work, but I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. The first thing that's on my mind, and I've briefly discussed this with, well, I've typed out my thoughts with other people, and my cat is scratching something in the background. As you can see, we've done more work over here. I put in another beacon over there, got just the one corner left. Been replacing blocks on the ground level as we go. I see I need to add another torch up there. I will make sure I do that. Cat, really? Seriously? Knock it off. Holy cow. Why aren't you sleeping like you usually are this time of day? Give me guff, I tell you. We also did a whole bunch of caving over in this direction. If you take a look over here, this is where I added the newest of beacons. I also did my digging and got my corners laid out and all that stuff, and found a cave section. Oh, this is because I accidentally dug in the wrong spot for the beacon. I went to the end of the tunnel thinking it was the end of the tunnel. But as you can see, that's 25 out from the inside, and I wanted to continue that all the way around. So there's a potential to find more cave in the system. But I have all of this stuff lit up as best as I could. I see a few dark spots here and there. This should help significantly increasing the level of FedEx, increasing the level of spawnage in the dark room. We're getting very close to you guys understanding what I'm going to be doing here. And I don't know if I've talked about it much or not, but I can tell you this. The whole purpose of it is to essentially give myself a mob-free environment on the surface. I am hopefully going to completely eliminate the chance of endermangs on my island, and FedEx is actually stopping at my door. So what I was trying to start talking about was the fact that my taste in music has kind of gone cray-cray. And the whole point of this being a relevant thing is that I'm getting up there in age now. I mean, I'm not an old person, but I'm now, you know, what you could, I guess, consider middle-aged person. I'm 36, and just in the last couple of years, I've noticed that my interest in current music has just completely faded away. Like, to me, and this is, you know, my perception of this, the music that is coming out as of recent is crap. It's absolute garbage. Like, it doesn't even, it's not, I can't even qualify or quantify it being music. It just doesn't work for me. Now, that's not to say all of that is the case. You know, depending on the genre of music, yes, some of it still is very much music and sounds like music. So I had almost all of that lit up. For some reason, I stopped. Interesting. Very interesting. How much coal? We're good. I'll grab so I have a full stack. So my thought process on that is essentially that, as you can see, also I found some diamonds while I'm in here doing this. This is just the border. The border we're working on here. I hear you. Aha! I got you. What you gonna do now, huh? Oh, this was a good one to find. This is a biggin. This is a biggin. So when I'm referring to all the music that I'm discussing here is mostly it's like EDM or pop or what have you. Yes, my tastes are a bit kiddie in nature, so I'm gonna have this problem, but I'm interested to know that if that is something that's going to continue as I get older, and I automatically go to my parents as a reference point, because growing up I could literally tell you when my parents stopped really listening to music and like how much it changed for them, where they basically at some point they became old. I mean, it's the only other way I can describe it, is they just lost an interest for music. But I look at that in reference as to how things are for me personally. I've always listened to music more so than they ever did anyway. So does that mean that it's going to be different for me in general? Like, because I have been interested in music more than them anyway, like from the start, my need and interest for music has been much more prevalent. That means that if it does dissipate, it's not going to be on the same level as them. So, you know, music should still be an important thing for me, or what have you. This is all, you know, speculation and hopefully, you know, nothing. I mean, I'll put it this way. I use Pandora as a reference for this. I've been listening to Pandora since, I think, 2007 is when I created my first station. A lot of people didn't even know that Pandora's been around that long. And that's the thing, is, you know, a format to get a large amount of music and discover new music was so important to me that as soon as I heard about it, as soon as I stumbled across it, I was like, okay, this is going to be something that's going to be groundbreaking for me, because it's going to introduce me to a whole bunch of new artists that I would otherwise not know anything about, because of the way that they work. They're part of the Music Genome Project, and everything is related to itself. And a lot of people that listen to music and listen to Pandora are automatically turned off by it, because you don't get to choose specifically who you're listening to. You know, people want to make a playlist based off of an artist versus make a playlist based off of the stylization of music. A lot of people don't want to learn about anybody new. A lot of people don't want to experience a new band. They want to stick with the same bands that they've been listening to. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that for me, I always want to further and broaden my musical view to the point that I experience everything that's possible out there in the genres that I'm interested in, which basically is all of them save country music. I don't understand country music or why people think it's music at all. To me, country music is a format for people who couldn't hack it as a rock star, and were looking for a way to get people to listen to them. Oh, snap. Oh, shizzle. Dang it. That sucked. Man. Got so excited, I freaking... Arrgh, stinking diamond. Man. Alright, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and pop that one in there real quick. So to close that off, essentially all I was bringing that up for was that I really hope that music never completely becomes irrelevant or unnecessary for me. I personally think that it would completely change who I am as a person, like altogether. I would have to be an entirely different kind of person than I am currently, because that's how much it is important to me and how much it affects my daily life. I am very much a person who gets emotional from music. you know, if I'm in a bad mood or if I'm in a good mood, I also listen to the equivalent music. But if I hear a song that I've never heard before, and it, you know, is an extremely depressing song or a sad song or what have you, I'm going to feel that emotion. I mean, that's how much music speaks to me. And so if that was no longer the case for me, if that was somehow changed and it didn't drive me the way it does currently, you would assume that I'm just no longer the same person. I mean, that's just how I see it. So that's why I bring it up and why I think it's important as an outlet per se. And that's also why it scares me that newer music is not connecting with me on any level. Now, you know, some would say that that's just because I am not connecting to it because I'm not that age group that's appealing to or what have you. I say bullpucky on that. I mean, there is no age group. Either you like it or you don't. If you don't like a specific kind of music, that's one thing. But I mean, we're talking about music that's essentially in the same genre of music that I listen to on a regular basis, and it's just not speaking to me. Yeah. That being said, like lately, I actually started a 80s music, like Depeche Mode and stuff like that, on my Pandora station. I feel like I'm going backwards looking for new music instead of forwards, and I mean, I'm aware of all of this music. I've definitely heard it all before, but I just miss it because it's not being played on air anymore. I just don't listen to radio anymore anyway. Just the ability to listen to music as much as I can, be it Pandora or Amazon Instant Music, any of these resources there are out there. You know, you don't have to waste your time with commercial music. But I don't find myself being interested in the newer stuff, with the occasional, you know, oddity of that, and that's more so because of the artist versus the music itself. There's still people that I'm tied to because I've known them from previous things. Okay, I do hear water over here, which usually means cave. Have I already been here? Looks like I might have been here already. Also sounds like the water is above me. Well, since I know I've been to that location, let's go ahead and pop over here real quick and take a look. Okay, I'm not hearing it over that section. I'm going to go back to it from this way and see if I can find it here. So we're going to give it a place to go. Hello! Was I using my Silk Touch for that? I think I was. Oh well. I mean, it could just be ocean, I suppose, but I don't think the ocean is actually that deep anywhere. Okay, now I lost it. It's like this direction. But you know what? I'm not hearing any mobs. I think I'm going to give up on this one. by now something would have spawned if that was going to be the case. So we're just gonna chalk that one up to being a safe place, mob-free area. I just don't hear anything spawning there, and I think I would have by now. That means we've done the perimeter on this. I can start working on the underneath section of this corner, or we can focus on gathering more resources and getting the other section done. I don't remember, in the past I said something about needing so many blocks, and I know my comparisons were off, but we're going to get that figured out at some point. It's like 2.5 stacks or something like that. See all those spawns, man? I don't know how many look at that. There's got to be like a double in here somewhere. Gotta be. We're gonna do something with that at some point. So while we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at the resources we got from that section there. Essentially haven't pulled anything out. Not too much in there. I think I brought up a stack of iron, and then we got quite a bit of coal and redstone out of the area. I haven't been forging any of the coal or the redstone because I have so much of both. I just don't see the point. And that's basically how I'm going to stick with that. I went ahead and fortuned the stuff we were doing on the perimeter. I think it's just because I had the silk touch on me more than anything else. But we brought up a whole bunch of, I think 2 loads of all the stuff in here, minus the obsidian, because that's on the lower section. A lot of stuff to be had. Let's go ahead and pop that in there. And that in there. We'll go ahead and leave the coal down here as well so we can continue using the furnaces and stuff like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on, shall we? Take it right into the friggin' face. Oh my gosh, so bad. So for me, this is an important thing, and it seems to be some conflicting result or some information about this, but how much I've heard it being talked about, I'd have to assume that it's actually going to happen. And this is something that a lot of people might want to make fun of me for, but I don't really care. And that is the fact that Netflix has supposedly made a deal to create 3 or 4, we don't know the actual number, 3 or 4 Gilmore Girls movies. To kind of wrap up the series in the way that everybody... What the heck? Wrap up the series the way that everybody wanted it to be wrapped up. It's been sitting kind of... Look at this. What the heck? Kind of been sitting there like that. Like that, right there. It's been sitting there. Waiting for people to acknowledge... This thing got completely wiped out? Oh my gosh! It helps if you actually open the... Wow. Yeah. Whew. Hello. Brain not be working right now, that's what I'm saying. Help wrap up the series in the way that people would expect it to have been wrapped up, where there was actually a finalization. They were always intending on doing one more season of the Gilmore Girls, but I think there was more than this actually going on that resulted in it ending the way it did. But one of the things we have been told by many of sources was that the person who played Rory, the daughter, decided she wanted to move on with her acting career and become a real actor. It worked out really well for her, considering she's done basically nothing worth mentioning since then. I guess the last time anybody really heard from her was she was working on the Obama campaign and was on the road trying to get him elected. That's not to say that it's not important or anything like that, but it's definitely not something that's going to help create a career for you. Now, have been, under the guise and information that we have been told, I have been basically led to believe that she is going to be returning, Mom is going to be returning, and Lorelai, shoot, what is her name? Heather, no, something Graham. Anyway, is going to be returning as well. So we're gonna have quite a few people already signed. Oh, Luke Danes, the love interest for Lorelai, is also going to be returning. So we have quite a few things that should work out to create a very cool thing. Now, obviously, a lot of people are much older, so there's going to be a difference right there. And the most important thing to note, which is a very sad thing as far as I'm concerned, because he's just a good actor, is Lorelai's dad, or grandpa, Gilmore, has passed away. Oh, right in the face. Right in the kisser. Come on. Yeah, take that. So, we know that he's not going to be returning. Obviously, it would be a very difficult thing for that to happen. And I very much hope that they basically just have him deceased in the show as well, since this is going to be taking place, gosh, 10 years down the road. Holy cow, it's a loud airplane. There's very much a hope that they don't try to pick it up right where it was, but actually skip part of the story, you know, and put us in the future. Have, for instance, Rory graduated from school at this point, which would be nice. Have Lorelai and Luke actually married, because we are led to believe that was going to happen regardless by the end of the series. These things that were kind of left in question, have them taken care of. The biggest thing for me is the concern of who's going to be coming back and how they're going to play it off. Like, I can't see Lorelai not still owning the bed and breakfast inn, or it's not a bed and breakfast, the Stars Hollow Inn, and she didn't like bed and breakfast inns. That's why it was a funny thing for me to say. Oh yeah, I think I got a skull on that one. Oh crap. Yep, Pigman remained. Suki, the person who plays Suki, has, since the show has come out, has become quite prevalent and popular in cinema. She's been in a lot of movies and stuff since the show, television show, Gilmore Girls is around. So she's not like a top billed actress, but she's making good money, right? So is she going to be willing to sign on to do this? There has been no mention of her being part of it. I don't know that her not being there would break the film or the continuation of the series per se, but it would definitely make a difference in the dynamics of Lorelai and what she does for a living, because essentially her and Suki created this atmosphere at the end that you just wouldn't find in any other situation, and that's something that's going to be lost if Suki isn't there to be the chef for this place. Something to keep in mind as the series itself goes forward. If this is going to make sense, there has to be a couple of things that definitely are hopefully explained, or at least not just, you know, brushed over. There's got to be some reason that certain things exist or don't exist. Certain situations don't happen. Now, the other issue that a lot of fans had with the series was the way that they dealt with Dean, which, for those that know the series and know the people and actors that were in it, the person who played Dean was the major boyfriend interest of the series for Rory. He also, after a long time in the show, started doing the Supernatural series and became Sam Winchester, his brother being Dean, which made it very weird for those of us that knew him as Dean to now call him Sam while his brother's standing right there who's named Dean. Yeah, confusing, to say the least. So that's a thing. But along with that, what am I getting hit by? What am I getting hit by? Along with that, there's the whole thought process of... Hello, Skellington. Who they're going to bring back. Like, who's going to be guest starring? Who's going to be part of the actual shows? There's going to be supposedly 3 or 4, the controversy of that, not really knowing if it's even happening. There's also been conflicting reports if it's going to be 3 90-minute movies or 4 90-minute movies that Netflix is bringing back for us. I personally don't care if it's 3 or 4. I just hope that they're done well. That's my take on that. You know, some people would say, well, let's hope for 4 because that means more. Well, more isn't always good. I just want it to be done correctly. So there's a question if Dean's going to come back or if any of the other interests for Rory will be coming back in the series, since, you know, this is going to be taking place more than likely after she's finished with college and probably starting a family of her own. We would assume that the majority of the storyline is really going to be about Rory finding her own love interest and starting a family or something of this nature. That's what I would expect to see happen. So, is any of the old love interests going to be appearing in this, or is it going to be a completely new person that she's involved with? I can't remember the rich guy's name that basically proposed to her and she said no. Is he going to be coming back to be a legitimate, you know, part of the show? It's who knows. It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say what's actually going to happen in that sense. I do know that they got the original writer/creator of the show to come back. This was the reason for some of the things going crazy in the series. At the end of it, the main writer was replaced due to some sort of disagreement in how much she should be getting paid. Essentially, she asked for a certain amount of money and they said no and told her that she was being replaced. There was no trying to come to some kind of settlement or agreement on the whole thing. She just got taken out of the picture, which really hurt the show towards the end. But those people that were here were so invested, you didn't want to change that. Are these guys chasing me? No, they're not. Okay. So we'll see what happens with it. I expect good things out of it, and hopefully that continues to be the case as Netflix continues to create better things for us to watch. Oh, hello, this big man is angry. Because better things to watch is always a good thing. Now, are you going to make another pigman follow or chase me? Or you don't care anymore? Okay. So weird. So weird. As Netflix continues their reign of superiority in the streaming world, I expect to see much more good things coming from them. That being said, they did announce that they're going to be raising their prices. Those that were already subscribed to them have a year before the price gets raised to $10 a month from $9 a month. Those that are going to be new to them, as the Christmas season goes on, essentially there'll be a lot of new subscribers to Netflix. The new accounts will be being charged $9 a month. I do not know if their DVD thing is still available for the $10 a month as well. I can tell you that if it is available, they're probably seeing less and less people doing it with Redbox around. Redbox has kind of taken over that market because you can effectively pick what you want to watch that night versus whatever you get in the mail is what you're stuck with type of thing. Because you never know what kind of mood you're going to be in. You may not want to watch that dramedy or that horror movie that you have received in the mail. You may want to do something else that night. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there as they continue forward. But for me, I'm just happy to see all of the one-off content that they are creating that is exclusive to Netflix being as good as it is. This is the beginning of changing the scope for television as far as I'm concerned, especially with HBO now being a relevant thing. HBO deciding to go internet-only availability has definitely changed the market as far as television is concerned, and we gotta only wonder or assume that at some point in time Comcast and Time Warner are going to be told to screw off by HBO because they're going to be making enough money via the internets automatically that there will be no point in continuing their relationships with things like Comcast or Time Warner or DirecTV or any of these things. We'll see what happens, and I think that's going to be a long ways down the road before we actually see that take place, but I can see that actually happening at some point. Absolutely see that as a viable thing going forward. Well, guys, I had a fun time discussing things today. I think we had a good experience here. I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk about and a lot of things I wanted to get off my chest, or just feel like I was talking to somebody. A lot of the times you get stuck into these routines where everything just doesn't feel right, and I think we've made a big difference here in how things feel for us. Giving a new sense of understanding together and what we're experiencing as a whole here in Minecraft, taking experiences to the next level. Hope you enjoyed it, as usual, folks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget that like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. And I hope to see you in the next one. We just found some diamonds. I need to get my silk touch.